Boy Carcino here. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the page. And this is Adam 22's channel, No Jumper. He made a very startling announcement about No Jumper that just surprised everyone. This comes after a week of just having basically him, Vlad Academics, and saying they're the kings of hip hop, podcasting live on his show. This happens. Now, Adam 22 has come a long way in this game. He's been someone that is relatively, I wouldn't say new, but definitely somebody that's polished in the game of podcasting and was making millions of dollars doing this game. So he employed a lot of people and spreaded the wealth around, and he had a lot of people there. So I could just imagine how much of the money that was coming in. And, the big boom of the boost of hiring these gangbangers and telling these gang tales and the way that they're telling them, that's leading to people going to jail. And all of the controversy, the adult film stars and having them on the show. And pretty soon, when you deal with a lot of different people, you deal with a lot of problems, and you deal with a lot of personnels, a lot of attitudes, a lot of people to micromanage. And not everybody is thinking the same. So with that being said, let's listen to Adam's reasons as to why No Jumper is basically borderline broke, in his opinion. Let's listen.
So there's something that I've been hiding from you guys. No Jumper is going broke. I know that might sound crazy. Between both of our YouTube channels, last month we got over 25 million views. We're doing well on Facebook and Snapchat. We employ quite a few of the hottest content creators on the West Coast, and we pump out an insane amount of content on a weekly basis. How could we be going broke? Well, let's start here. We expanded too much during COVID at just about the exact moment that our revenue streams all took a hit. We hired a whole bunch of editors and other employees, and we bought a huge office building that cost us almost $4 million, thinking that the growth that we were experiencing during the pandemic was going to continue. And unfortunately, that did not happen. Our YouTube numbers, which had doubled or even tripled, gradually returned to normal. Our Snapchat and Facebook numbers, which had exploded during COVID, sometimes even hitting six figures a month, shrank by about 80% or more. Our Patreon, which was absolutely killing it for a year or two when we were doing uncensored, aka nude interviews with up-and-coming superstars like Kazumi and Sky Bree, fell off quite a bit with the launch of Plug Talk and a decreased interest in seeing us interview stars. In addition to that, you might recall that the channel took quite a hit when approximately 8 of our hosts left the platform in March of 2023. Although we've definitely largely recovered and managed to build up a very healthy roster of talent since then, that certainly took a toll on our business for a while as well. All that stuff hurt the business, but we were still solidly profitable. That is, until the last few months, where we experienced 2 major L's that we never could have seen coming. First, we lost the No Jumper Instagram. After almost 10 years of building it up and essentially no strikes on our account, we got taken down one day, and we still have absolutely no idea why. We've had no luck getting it back despite being in contact with what seems like every Instagram recovery guy on the face of the planet. We were bringing in a very solid amount of cash monthly that was keeping us afloat via selling sponsored posts on the account, and that mostly vanished overnight. And while we've been growing the new No Jumper LA account up ever since and managing to sell sponsored collab posts using my Instagram and the No Jumper LA account, DM or email if interested, we aren't making anywhere near as much from Instagram now. Side note, if you're a Meta rep, please DM me. I would love to speak to anyone who could help with this. And
now, let's stop right here because there's a lot to unpack. It's a lot to unpack. So, first of all, what he spoke about and what he did, and this is why I try to tell people in business, and if you're on my Patreon, Carcino for Life, you automatically understand and know where I'm going to go. This is why most companies who are starting off and have a lot of success, they fizzle out after a couple of years. They expand too fast instead of letting it build and then expanding slowly so that if something happens, you're not so exposed to where you can't recover. So you have to like prepare for a rainy day. Yes, I don't know why it's doing that, people. I really don't. With the audio, it's kind of crazy to me that they're messing with the audio as bad as it is, because it works and sounds perfect for me. I just don't know why it's not working perfectly for you guys. He said he's reading a teleprompter. No way he's that eloquently normal. Probably is. I don't know. Mr. Graham Mason is telling a story, but while he's telling this story, here's the part that's that you need to really focus on or remember in these issues is that overhead for that building is probably costing him. Just because he's put shows up there, he's got to pay for all of that to be equipped. And then if you're canceling shows because they're just not bringing in the money, now you're exposed because you have too much going into one stanza, and it's not enough money to pay the talent, pay the editors, pay this. It's too much work and it's too many people, too many mouths. So you're going to have to downsize. So when they got rid of Shark and all these other guys and they had to go figure it out, he's trimming down because they're literally losing and hemorrhaging cash every month. That's why you kept seeing all of these clickbait things that they were doing to try to generate traffic. You got Whack pretending like he's finna beat up the other content creator that's on there, and you're starting to see a trend. You're starting to see a scenario where people are saying, "Oh, this is the way it's gonna go. This is the way it's gotta be. I'm gonna take this avenue. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. Oh, I'm gonna blow this up, and this is gonna be something that is incredible. Oh my God, it's gonna be outstanding." It's nonsense because you're gonna have to pay out too much out. Your overhead should never, ever, ever be that high. And you gotta pay, you gotta think about it. The heat and electric for a building of that magnitude, that's gonna cost you. That's gonna be monumentally. No, I watch the clips. I don't have time to watch No Jumper. I have other things going on. But people send me clips of No Jumper. But I'm aware of it. I'm aware of the situation. I'm aware of certain things that have happened on this show that has been very damaging to the show. That I know why this show is going to have to end. He's pretty much going to file for bankruptcy on No Jumper eventually, and then go and put everything on his other thing, whether it's Plug Talk or another LLC that he has in the building, and just move it away from No Jumper because No Jumper is tied into a lot of criminal RICO cases and all these other things in conjunction to what's going on Oh yeah, with conjunction of what's going on right now, plus he's got these lawsuits going on from former employees, and we're going to get into that as he's going to get into that and discuss that. Yeah, and then those toupees he wear, those things cost money, to maintenance and take care of that rug. Well, yeah, you got to pull the plug. So it's time to pull the plug on things and write some things off and to protect yourself from people trying to sue. But let me go ahead and see if there's a way that I can get this thing fixed with this audio. Sorry they're doing this to you. Stay tuned now. Don't think I'm knocking y'all off. You're just going dark for a minute, but I'm coming right back on here. All right? Don't go nowhere. All right. There we go.
No idea why. We've had no luck getting it back, despite being in contact with what seems like every Instagram recovery guy on the face of the planet. We were bringing in a very solid amount of cash monthly that was keeping us afloat via our sponsor. And that mostly vanished overnight. And while we've been growing the new No Jumper LA account up ever since and managing to sell sponsored collab posts using my Instagram and the No Jumper LA account, DM or email if interested. We aren't making anywhere near as much from Instagram now. Side note, if you're a meta rep, please DM me. I would love to speak to anyone who could help with this. And second, in addition to that, we have been hit with a bullshit lawsuit from a former employee. Now, essentially everything in this lawsuit is completely fictional, and every lawyer that I've spoken to about it has described this as basically an extortion attempt, but it still cost us a ton of money already, and it's expected to cost us many hundreds of thousands of dollars to see this through to completion. It's insane to me that we did so much for it because we breathed thin air and cost us this much money as a result. This person has literally lost every single friend that he used to have when he worked at No Jumper. His streaming career is completely tanked, and he even got kicked off the podcast that he left No Jumper to start, but somehow that's our reality, and we have to fight this rather than just give in to this piece of shit. So as a result of all these circumstances, we are making some changes. Over the last few months, we laid off multiple employees in an attempt to reduce our expenses as much as possible. We closed down our store on Melrose, and we're in the early stages of selling our current warehouse and moving into a smaller space. To be honest, I'm pretty happy about a lot of these changes. I've realized that I should have paid more attention to DJ Vlad and kept my overhead as low as possible, particularly in terms of staff and location. Would be in a pretty solid financial positioning.
Well, and I don't know if you guys could hear it. The audio is probably messed up, and I'm sorry that they're doing. I don't know if it's StreamYard or what have you, but let me tell you like this, okay? They're screwing up big time. And because they're screwing up big time, everyone is on board. Yeah, they're trying to kill the stream. And I don't know why. It's like, why are you trying to kill the stream? It's obvious this is what this person wants to do. So I don't understand why you're killing it or attempting to kill the stream. Right, it's never been this bad. So I know how to handle this. See, Adam 22, learn from Sino. You got to learn how to do things yourself. When they start screwing with me, I screw back. Pause. Now, what people are going to realize is that it's more than one way to skin a cat. Mm-hmm. Sino me, Sino. Now, as this Sino goes bye-bye, now you have another Sino that gets things done. Let's see how this works now. Since they want to play the tampering game, let's show them who they messing with. Time to show the donkey the snake. Oh, looks like we're back. Think we're up and going, buddy. Can I get an amen? Now, the echo is done, and we have ignition. And away we go.
Vlad and kept my overhead as low as possible, particularly in terms of staff and location. I'm confident that once we get the building sold, we'll be in a pretty solid financial position again as a business. Oh, and I also just want to note that I am talking about No Jumper as a business. I've got another business in the form of Plug Talk, and I've got a pretty decent investment portfolio on a personal level. I mean, shit, I'm not $2 million in debt, and I never had to file for bankruptcy like T-Rel. But I honestly spend pretty finances. We are making some changes. Over the last few months, we laid off multiple employees. We were bringing in a very solid amount of cash monthly that was keeping us afloat via selling sponsored posts on the account, and that mostly vanished overnight. And while we've been growing the new No Jumper LA account up ever since and managing to sell sponsored collab posts using my Instagram and the No Jumper LA account, DM or email if interested, we aren't making anywhere near as much from Instagram now. Side note, if you're a Meta rep, please DM me. I would love to speak to anyone who could help with this. And second, in addition to that, we have been hit with a bullshit lawsuit from a former employee. Now,
way better. Exactly. So now that we got everything working the way it's supposed to work, let's see how they go about with the distributing of the video. They've already did considerable damage to the video. We'll see how that goes moving forward. Now, what he means is that building that they spent $4 million for, the mortgage and for this building and the rent rather, it's going to cost them, and it's killing them every month. They had way too many people there who are not really working. They're not doing anything, and they're overpaid and they're on salary. So you have these people that are overpaid and on salary. They're going to eat at your overhead. Glad is smart in that degree. He was absolutely correct. He spent $4 million on that building. I could have told him that and saved him a bundle of money. That's too much. I basically have that studio, that building that he got in my house. I got 3 different companies in my house as a portal. What I just came into right now is my other studio that we are listening to right now. This place right here is a whole business. This office that I walked into and went on this PC and brought this up to get this to work and play right. Now, because of that, Adam is not broke. He's trying to protect himself in this lawsuit because that person that's suing is only suing No Jumper. The feds are investigating No Jumper. He's going to have to revamp what he's doing and start closing down operations. You have people that's under federal indictment, and they're going to be pleading guilty to situations and admitting to crimes on your platform that you're making money off of. This is not going to look good in a RICO case. So this is what I was telling you guys in the past 2 days, that he realized now I just got to go out and give up the ghost because we're spending all this money on this lawsuit that this guy has filed, even though it's frivolous, in his opinion, it's frivolous. It's costing me a lot of money. Now, broke, Andrew, is by different people's standard. Like the company could be broke, but he could have access and have his own personal finances, and that's different from everyone else's realm of what broke is. Broke to you might mean I have no money. Broke to them means we're losing money every month, and the company is losing money, and we're not making a lot of money from that. So I got to cut people off because if I keep everybody, hell, I will go completely broke. Now I have investments that's gonna, keep me afloat personally, but everything else on my finances is going down with the company. So all these people he employed and is very ambitious in doing it, but he made a very critical mistake. You have to keep your overhead low, especially if you're a business that fluctuates. Your business is a fluctuating business. It's not stable. Podcasting, YouTube, and all that stuff can go up, it can go down. It's like stock. You have to take that into consideration. Why people wonder why Sino ain't start a big podcast. First of all, when you start these big podcasts, you have to understand something. You're gonna have to take in a whole lot of different other people ideas, you know, their whole psyche, mentality, and it's best to never do this with friends because that's going to end the friendship. It's going as soon as y'all have a problem at work, it's going to be a problem in the friendship. So you're going to lose a friend, and you guys going to have to be ready for that. The no jumper store, once again, ambitious, but how you're paying for another physical location that's not going to make a lot of money. Common sense should have told you the market shows you people buy online. They don't go in the stores like that, especially in California, where your location is in California. The rent is very high. So the cost of living is very expensive. So you're going to have to, yeah, I mean, I understand what he was trying to think and said, hey, I got everybody doing X, Y, and Z. We're going to grow exponentially. We're going to keep making these millions of dollars. But when you're taking hits financially and losing incoming revenue from sponsors and he don't even have any connections, that's surprising to me that somebody like Adam 22 wouldn't have any connections on Instagram to know who to contact to get that page back up, so on his Instagram. So it's without even any warnings and anything, his whole page was taken down and they were getting paid, making money off that page. So, there's always uh, a silver lining somewhere, but these people have to find it. But let's finish listening.
Essentially everything in this lawsuit is completely fictional, and every lawyer that I've spoken to about it has described this as basically an extortion attempt, but it still cost us a ton of money already, and it's expected to cost us many hundreds of thousands of dollars to see this through to completion. It's insane to me that a person that we did so much for can just invent some grievances out of thin air and cost us this much money as a result. This person has literally lost every single friend that he used to have when he worked at No Jumper. His streaming career has completely tanked, and he even got kicked off the podcast that he left No Jumper to start. But somehow that's our reality, and we have to fight this rather than just give in to this piece of shit. So, as a result of all these circumstances, we are making some changes. Over the last few months, we laid off multiple employees in an attempt to reduce our expenses as much as possible. We closed down our store on Melrose, and we're in the early stages of selling our current warehouse and moving into a smaller space. To be honest, aside from the layoffs, which sucked, I'm pretty happy about a lot of these changes. I've realized that I should have paid more attention to DJ Vlad and kept my overhead as low as possible, particularly in terms of staff and location. I'm confident that once we get the building sold, we'll be in a pretty solid financial position again as a business. Oh, and I also just want to note that I am talking about No Jumper as a business. I've got another business in the form of Plug Talk, and I've got a pretty decent investment portfolio on a personal level. I mean, shit, I'm not $2 million in debt, and I never had to file for bankruptcy like T-Rel. But I honestly spend pretty much all of my time trying to create as much content as possible with No Jumper, and I can't really justify doing so unless the fundamentals of the business make sense. It was a big decision to share this stuff with you guys, but at a certain point, I realized that I've been honest with the world about just about everything in my life over the years, and it felt wrong to keep all this stuff that we've been dealing with in secret. So I know what you're thinking. What can you do to help? Well, I do have some ideas, which I'll sort into 3 categories here: free, cheap, and generous. Free. Obviously, I'm infinitely thankful to anyone who watches our content at all, follows us on the @NoJumperLA Instagram, and in particular, those of you who drop likes and comments on our videos and Instagram posts. In the long run, that stuff is super helpful. Cheap. We are really trying to get serious about embracing our members here on YouTube. For $5 a month, we've got a ton of awesome benefits, including being able to watch all of our interviews free of censorship and bleeped words before they're released to the public. Members only chat for all of our live stream content, and we're just going to be prioritizing a lot of our most requested content and trying to do that live for members only. So for any of you who are down to spend $5 a month to help support the business, we're just going to try to keep adding more and more stuff to make that an easy decision for you guys who are down to support. And for those of you who have more money to spend, we're introducing a mega premium $100 tier to our memberships that will get your name added to the end of all our videos, and it will also get you consistent advice and opinions on your music submissions with 1 free submission per month and discounted additional songs. Basically, we're just trying to do as much as possible for anybody who's down to join this tier. So we're going to hype you up on our live streams and try to really give you actual professional advice about what we think that you should do with your career and everything like that. And, we're going to try to add even more value for that $100 tier as time goes by. Also, if you own or work for a brand and would like to sponsor the podcast, please reach out to Josh at nojumper.com. We're also selling collab promotional posts using the NoJumperLA and Adam22 Instagram accounts. So again, if you want to hit up Josh at nojumper.com, he can give you all the information about all that. So yeah, there's my update. I've been kind of thinking about telling you guys about all this stuff for a while. I'm not begging for sympathy or anything like that. I'm just being realistic about owning a media business in this day and age. Everybody knows rap is maybe not in the best place that it could possibly be. Podcasts, definitely not at the place that they were in 2021 or 2022. The economy in general really kind of experiencing some troubles. And really, as we've put this building on the market, we've kind of realized that as well, is that there's a ton of other businesses that do similar stuff to what we do, and they're all kind of experiencing hardships. So we're definitely not alone in all this. We're just trying to get the business back to where it was at a couple years ago and get it to the point where it's consistently profitable so that we can start just continuing to dump money into hosts and making great content for you guys, everything like that. So if you want to help us out, that would be amazing. Just go to youtube.com/nojumper. The membership option is right there on the homepage, or we'll have a link down in the description. And yeah, appreciate you guys. Smack a like.
Now, you might be saying to yourself, oh my God, what is happening? No Jumpers, they're getting all these views. Why are they going broke? Oh, it's not an April Fool. It's 100% accurate. This is what's happening in the podcast game to podcasters. Guys who don't make their own content. Meaning, they just do podcasts. They can't sit here on a microphone and talk to you and be interesting and actually give their thoughts and opinions and be successful at doing that. They have to have a conversation with 3, 4 other people, and it's got to be some type of clickbait thing to get you to come through. Now, when you do that and you play that clickbait role to get people to come and attend your situation, what ends up happening is a domino effect that goes in the opposite direction. Now, that opposite direction is going to lead you to something else entirely. That opposite direction is going to take you to a place that you never wanted to go. So, what you're going to end up doing is compromising to try to make up for everything you're doing. You're trying to compromise. Oh, I need to do this now. Everybody's responding to that, so let me do this. I need to move in this direction because everyone's responding to it now. It's popular. I got to do what's popular. You see, oh, this is what's hot. I got to do it because everybody else is doing what's hot. Now I got to come up with a new gimmick. Before he had real podcasters. Then he turned and said, okay, no real podcasters. Let's flip that around. Let's turn that into, okay, let's go ahead and do this. Every day it's something new. It's called chasing it. That's why I never went the realm of podcast. If I do, I'm going to do my own thing. Well, you want to make sure that every angle you hit is on the money. Well, we all know the direction that these people want to go in. We know that these people are, trying to commit, make content for you. And some of them will even lie. They'll tell you everything they need to tell you. Oh, yeah. They're going to tell you everything you need to know. hmm They're going to tell you everything you need to know and you want to hear, and it'll all be phony. It'll all be fake. Well, nothing real come from it. So when you don't have anything real coming from it, you're looking at it and you start asking yourself questions. Why are we behind? Why did this situation go in the direction it did? It don't feel real anymore. For instance, now he spoke about these situations, and we're going to tackle a lot of these so that you guys could be clearly caught up with what's going on. Now he spoke about the lawsuit, right? He started telling you guys that there was a lawsuit pending, one that really messed up No Jumper. Now let's go to the whole situation from the guy who's suing him. One of the people who's suing him is a guy and his girlfriend. One girl suing for wrongful termination, and her boyfriend who worked there is suing also. Here are them talking about the actual firing.
You doing these streams is that it's something that nobody would ever do unless it pretty much like was their main way of paying their rent that month. Which I know that this is kind of like your thing, so I kind of love it. That like
Well, it is now. You fired him, man.
Fucking,
What the hell you mean? You gotta do it.
took away his job.
we did not fire him.
Yes, you did.
He's been temporarily relieved from certain editing duties.
I'm so proud of you. Fuck this nigga, man. Get your money,
Do you
nigga.
feel fired?
I don't. Should we squeak on this?
Let's squeak on it.
Okay, let's
God.
squeak
because
on this.
did you see me on that other podcast?
Yes, I
All
did.
Squeak
A
Olympics.
lot of people have been sending me that clip.
I went
What
on
was
Ryan
it?
Long's
He
podcast.
said he fired him.
He's a comedian, YouTuber, and I was talking to him, and for some reason, I'm talking as if nobody's ever going to see it. So I'm basically like talking about Yuri, and I'm not saying it's Yuri, but it's also pretty fucking obvious that it's Yuri, although a lot of other people thought it was other people,
Because
whatever.
you said Twitch.
Right, I fucked up some details by accident. But basically, I just said that you were working in the office for a while. You got off your feet doing content, and then at a certain point, it just made more sense for you to be focusing on the content as opposed to doing administrative duties for us.
But in that interview, you said I fired him.
I know those words.
That's what I was like.
But also, okay, it was kind of like a firing, but for everyone, I feel like we should just lay it out because I get so many of these messages all the time. So we should just lay it out. I was making mistakes on the clips titles, right? Because I was doing the no jumper clips, and I'm very illiterate.
You also can't spell,
and I can't spell. I'm illiterate. All this stuff.
Because every person who does the titles for the Clips channel knows that I write the titles, and I want them exactly how I wrote them. I don't want a fucking apostrophe moved one space over. I don't want an additional space, etc. Laura does it now. Laura copies and pastes them.
Yeah, why don't you just copy and paste it?
I think in the whole time Laura's been doing it and she copied and pasted, there might have been like one time where something was fucked up because she copied and pasted it wrong, whatever. Yuri, at a certain point, it was like every day he was getting the titles wrong.
Bro,
and
they called me a pronoun because it's.
Oh,
what was that?
I called you.
Now, this guy is clearly saying and acknowledging he wasn't doing the job correctly. So you getting fired and removed of duty for that, I can understand. I had a guy that was doing the thumbnail. You remember that. He did this thumbnail. He did that thumbnail. He made a lot of thumbnails for me. He was doing a great job. But as you can see here, there's an error, and he made a lot of spelling error. Carcino will never be cool with academics. He forgot the B. So I've had these same issues, right? But I just said, screw it. We just gonna take it anyway. So I know exactly what he's talking about because I went through the same thing. Now, I didn't hire the person to do every single thing for me, but they've done my thumbnails. They did the editing, the chop and paste. So they did a whole lot of, things for me, and they did a great job, and believe me, to work for me is not an easy thing at all. This person was there. Like if I call at 3 a.m, 4 a.m, I need a thumbnail for this. I need a thumbnail for that. I had no problem with getting it. So that person was exceptional in that realm. But we had to go over certain scenarios, situations, everything. So you start to understand and get the picture a lot clearer when we get to this situation. Now, this guy here clearly was not fired. He was removed of one duty and went to another duty. So he was removed and taken off one job and got put on another job. So it's like, okay, well, they say you lost your job there, but look, you're back on your feet. You got another position. So this shouldn't even be a problem. I don't even know how he could be sued for this, for being terminated completely, because it was really a layoff saying we're downsizing, and this is why we have to do what we're doing.
A girl accidentally.
No, it was like AD talks about how she felt.
I was
They used the
that
wrong
was
pronoun
funny.
for AD. I'm like, bro, he's a Compton Crip. You can't be putting this smut on his name.
I am a civilian.
So, anyways,
right.
No,
basically, Adam got fed up with all my mistakes, and Adam hit me up. And this is why I said this on stream before. This is why I have to be extremely thankful and gracious to Adam, because you hit me up and you said, dude, you've been making too many mistakes. you got to find something else to do. You didn't fire me. You said you got to find something else to do. And then I was kind of
leave it up to Yuri to congratulate a nigga that
He
fired
didn't have
him.
a lot of ideas.
No, but he could easily been like, dude, like you're out of here. But he said, like,
Like, don't
dude,
do no
he said, I don't want to.
on-camera
He said, I don't want to let you go. Like, you can find something else to do. And then in my head, I was thinking, like,
He was thinking plug talk.
I was thinking, like, I was like, bro, like, I've been
Porn
experiencing
filter.
so much growth with the YouTube channel, so much love with Harmonious Gang and all this stuff. I was like, bro, I want to see what it would be like if I actually put a little bit more effort and focus into the YouTube channel. So I hit up Adam and I was like, bro, could it be possible if I just didn't do the editing and stuff, and I just did disconnected and the listening to music streams? And Adam thankfully was understanding enough and helpful enough to be like, yeah, let's work that out. So
And now I am so proud of you.
dude, thank you, man, because like
So
I said,
proud.
you could have easily just been like, get out of
Yeah,
here,
get the fuck
but
outta
you
here.
were
I love
helping me out the whole
And
time.
You already deleted the valet interview.
I've had
That's
that's why
Zan
he's still
interview.
making up for that, as far as I'm concerned. I've had a lot of situations where I had to fire somebody, and I thought we might still be able to be cool, and then that absolutely was not the case. And it's like, and that's partially because people just take their job really serious. They feel like,
And that's the problem right there. Not everybody has the same mindset. Somebody might have a whole different mindset than what you have. This doesn't mean no jumpers going away. They're retooling. So they're downsizing to get stronger so that the revenue is coming in and it's monumental. You're trimming the fat. Dead weight got to get cut off. A lot of people was eating for free. The money's not coming in the way it used to. The podcast game is oversaturated. Unless you're a professional athlete, a former professional athlete, a lot of sponsorships are not going to be there for you. And that's how you're going to have to eat, especially when you have a lot of overhead. And a lot of these studios with all these microphones, you got producers, you have all of these things going on. All of these people have to eat. They have editors making shorts and videos. Some of these people are getting paid 6 figures a year. So you got to bring in revenue from a lot of different areas. And then you're realizing I'm paying somebody money that I can do this myself. I'm going to tell you guys what really went down in a lot of these scenarios. Now, here you go. Listen. I went through this, but not to this extreme. But others I know, podcasts, they had a great podcast going. One of the friends fell out with another friend, and all that friend had to do was come in and talk. That was it. They come in, they talk, they laugh and joke, and they became very popular on the show. They leave, and they go home. Meanwhile, the other partner, he's got to stay there. He's doing the editing, which takes about 3-4 hours to do. After they didn't record it for about 2 hours, he's got to do 4 hours of editing, plus another hour just to complete shorts. And now he's doing all of this, and he's out there working the social media himself, and he's doing everything. The other person comes in and talks. Then when the money comes in, the other person who comes in and talks is upset. He's getting 35% of the money, and the rest of it is going to the other guy. And he was like, why am I not getting 50-50? Because you're not doing 50% of the work. He was like, 35 was generous for what you've done. It's like, well, I'm popular. Without me, there's no show. Which is true. I mean, he was very popular on the show, on the podcast show. And he was like, yes, you're very popular. Everybody likes you on the show more than myself. But I'm really the guy that's behind the camera. And I'm making you look good I know how to work with you, podcast with you. So I make you look good. It helps the show. I got to do the editing. I got to do all of this. So it takes longer for me to do all of these things. So the guy was like, man, I want 50-50. You're stealing. He's like, I'm not stealing. I'm doing all the work. But the other guy feels I'm the talent. So I got to get my 50%. I'm going to walk. Then you really got nothing. So the guy was like, well, it's like this. You want 50-50? Okay, well then we got to hire somebody to come in and do the editing. If you're going to do 50-50, somebody's got to be hired to come in and do the editing. Somebody's going to come in and do the social media work, the thumbnails, everything, marketing team. We're going to have to get a whole marketing team in here, all the stuff that I was doing for free. We're going to have to do that now. And if we're going to do that and put it in that type of format and have everybody come in and make their opinions on it, if that's what we're doing now, great. This is how it's going to go. You're going to have to pay for it. Either you do it or you're going to have to pay for it. It's going to come out of your half. I'm going to pay half. You're going to pay half. We 50-50 now. So that's what you want to do. Let's do it. That other person thought about it and saying, wow, that 35 to just shut up and come in and talk didn't sound too bad. Because now he's 50-50. He don't have to deal with every problem. He didn't want that. So he took his 35 and shut up. But then he grew restless and said, nah, I'm going to go ahead and leave and do my own thing. He didn't make it. He fizzed out. So it tells you more than anything that the more you try to change people from being who they are, some people are just not ready for success. They don't know how to grasp it. They think success means 1,000 people are taking their pictures, waiting for them to walk in their door so they can just get a glimpse. They got all this stuff begging for autographs. It's a total false reality. You're a podcaster, dude. Like, what do you expect? Now, I don't see too many people go crazy for celebrities like that anymore. Only certain ones can, embrace such a monumental situation. Now, as for me, I just try to always be prepared. So I don't have to, get started to be prepared. And I should already be ready to go. Mm. Yeah. So that guy right there, as he said, you did a good job and was doing a good job, but then he was taken off of the situation because he was upset that he was removed. And it wasn't really about him. It was more about the girlfriend. And she couldn't believe.
Well, you have nothing to feel embarrassed about, honestly.
It's just I've never been through this, so it's like
yeah,
weird. But yeah, pretty much I was let go from the no jumper team. The rumors are true.
the rumors are true. Yeah,
And yeah, I mean,
it's been an emotional.
it's like a lot of different emotions.
Mhm.
It's like I feel like I felt like it was gonna happen. Like I already kind of had a feeling it was coming. And I just kind of annoyed with myself because like I just should have seen it coming and like trusted my gut a little more. But yeah, I don't know. It's just crazy.
We might as well like, speak on everything where it's like, obviously it's been like an emotional thing for Riley because she told me like, I didn't know this. I thought, you have experience because I feel like everyone's gone through this before, but like I've been laid off from jobs like 3-4 times. And every time it's like, hey, this branch isn't making enough money anymore. Sorry. Hey, we're closing down this location. If you want to go to this other location, you're welcome to. Like, but sorry, it's like I've been laid off a couple times like that before. And it's like the first time I remember it was like felt weird. I was like, damn, like what the fuck? Like
what?
I just went to the skate park, I remember, and I was just like, damn, I'm unemployed now. Like it's kind of strange, but I didn't know that you've never like gone through it. And for Riley, it was kind of like an emotional thing where she was just like, oh my God, I can't believe, this is happening. But it really sucks because it kind of happened in a weird time because it's like Riley, like about a month ago, like or a month and a half ago, was already planning on like pursuing her older.
Ew, I hate myself.
Why are you getting emotional about it? Are you gonna miss it?
I'm gonna miss certain aspects. Like I'm saying like it was bound to happen because like personally like I wasn't really like
you're gonna make me
happy
cry.
like just doing what I was doing because I just felt stagnant and like I wasn't advancing in anything and just kind of doing the same old. So I was looking and like doing something because I just felt bored, like I wanted to get back into hair and getting creative and stuff. But I also did love working there too because like I did make great friends. Like I'm gonna miss the girls.
Oh, you're still gonna be in touch with the girls. Like you still talk
like,
to them.
It's different. I don't know. It's crazy because it's so much has changed in like such a little time, and it's just crazy to be a part of that. And like just I don't know.
It really hit us when we were like looking at the Christmas photo, and we were like, damn, that's it. It's like this is an era that's not going to be around anymore. You know what I mean? At all.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I mean, I understand. Obviously, like
exactly,
it's happening like, to multiple people. It's not just me, and it's.
But with your situation, it's
just crazy.
It was even like I don't know
So, as you can see, she broke down crying because of what happened. Now, because she broke down crying on this show, right? Adam started talking about both of these people being fired. It's a crazy situation.
You guys were like super close. I was not totally mad about it because you guys weren't around back then. But like the real reason why he stopped being here was because he kept fucking up the titles. Like 100%. One reason, only one reason. He was working there. I would send an email with all the titles. I'd do a Brick Baby interview. Boom. Here's the full Brick Baby title, and here's 10 titles. And I want those titles exactly the way I wrote it on the YouTube.
Why don't you copy and paste at this point?
I realistically feel like I have better grammar skills than most people. I've been writing titles for fucking forever. I know exactly how I want them to look. And if there's going to be an error, which there is sometimes, like fucking, I posted, there was a clip that went up the other day and it was Violent J, but it was supposed to be Shaggy 2 Dope. I fucked it up. I want those mistakes to be on me so that I can't blame anybody, because to me, the titles being right is like the most important fucking thing in the world, you know? So like, that was it. He fucked up like 3, 4, 5 times in a row. Eventually I was like, we can't do this anymore. And then like, I saw this clip of him talking about why he doesn't work in No Jumper anymore. And he's talking about how he wasn't getting paid enough. And it's like, you might have felt that way, but you didn't quit. Like you got fired. Like this was like it was very simple.
For sure.
So it's so weird. Like there's a couple other things I've seen in the of people talking about why they were no longer here, and I'm just like, what? Like you're just making shit up. Like you just have been just cooking up like new narratives for the past couple of years instead of like saying what really happened. Like that's crazy.
Yeah, he tried to go in on
Josh today.
Josh too.
You seen that?
You seen that?
That's crazy.
Josh got it back on him today. He didn't want to.
I didn't hear what Josh said to him, but like, okay, the thing with Josh, like, and this reminds me of another clip I saw like a couple of weeks ago where people were talking shit about me saying like Josh does so much of the hard work. It's like, yeah, motherfucker, I hired him. Like that. Yeah. You're telling me that I'm running a good business. If you say, oh, Remo's getting so many of the guests or Remo's helping on so many of the interviews. Yeah.
Thank you.
I fucking found somebody really good and I hired them. Like Josh, No Jumper before Josh was a fucking shit show. Like from a business perspective, from a content perspective, from like us doing an interview and then getting it out perspective. Like I hired Josh literally because we did an escape room together. You ever do an escape room?
Mm-hmm.
It's like they lock you in a fucking room.
I got to figure it out.
And you have to solve all these puzzles to get out of the room.
Yeah.
I myself have very, very bad problem solving skills. Mm-hmm. Like when you're in Zelda and you're trying to get out of the dungeon.
Right. I quit. I quit.
I got to look it up. I don't know. I look it up. I have no it's impossible. I can't do it.
I quit.
Yeah.
Josh was killing this fucking escape room. And he's like my sister's fucking husband at this point.
Yeah.
But I had never really like thought about like how his brain worked that much. Pause. It's not like a Lil Wayne punchline. But he basically like I was so impressed with the escape room that I ended up basically offering him the job. And my more or less what I told him when he came out here was like, please, like just help me get this fucking business together.
Yeah.
So if you compliment Josh, that's a compliment to me because I fucking somehow found somebody
Josh
that
his flowers.
Josh definitely deserves his flowers.
For sure.
And to say that Josh is, well, I don't know. Like, I mean, was Josh talking shit about people behind their backs? I have no fucking clue. I'm sure he's got opinions about people and maybe he would share them with Yuri. I don't know why that's like a dunk to be like, oh, you privately expressed opinions about people and now I'm going to just expose it. Not like he exposed it, but he said that he has that knowledge. It's like, yeah, you guys were like super close working together for all those years. Of course he told you what he thought of people.
Yeah.
I'm not like challenging him to reveal those things, but like, that's not surprising to me.
Yeah. And it's like, man, that's life. You talk about people talk about Josh behind his back. So the same person that you gonna say like, oh yeah, if the vibe was, you ain't fucking with it right now, and you can tell it's in there. Of course, they both talked about each other behind it.
You got friends who talk about each other behind their back a little bit, whatever, to their peoples or to whoever the fuck, and they still don't go out and just say, this motherfucker be saying this, because they still be with that motherfucker.
Because saying that somebody was talking behind your back is like the dumbest.
It gotta be something for real.
Yo, because I remember when that shit originally happened with AD, not to bring this shit up, but like when that shit happened with AD where basically like he was saying, oh, you were talking behind my back, that whole narrative that he kind of issued when he left No Jumper. Yeah. I remember talking to Academics about it, and Academics was laughing at it and saying, that's some Zeus shit. Which is true. Like that's like reality show shit that like women argue about on reality shows. It's like, you were talking behind my back. Bro, let's think about the real world. It sucks that he just walked away, but like you and Brick, all this little drama and shit that you guys been having. Of course you're having fucking conversations about each other with other people. People are calling you and saying blah, blah, blah. And you got to tell them like me and Brick are cool, yada, yada. That's technically a conversation behind his back, but it's not like it's only a conversation behind someone's back.
I can say whatever the fuck I want when I say it. But
if you say something that's totally different than the energy that you hit him with when you guys are talking face to face, then you're fucked up.
Right.
But if you go tell somebody something behind their back that you also are communicating to them to their face, that is not talking behind their back.
Right. Like my friends, if I say anything about them, I say it to their face too.
Right.
They know I feel like this. If I feel like one of the homies ain't coming to work or do whatever, I'm like, cuz is a lazy bitch. You feel me? That's something I tell him to his face though.
So now y'all see what's going on over there. And that's what's happening. Yuri is suing him. And like he said, he's got to fight these lawsuits. Riley is suing him also. Both of them are suing for wrongful termination. And like he said, the stuff that they're suing for, majority of that is not even in the lawsuit, or that happened after they left. But he got to pay lawyers. The money is low, and they're fighting everything in court. So we'll see how it all plays out in the end. But I'm out. Shouts out to Kwame Brown, Bust Life. Shouts out to No Jumper Clips. Shouts out to Sports Talk with Jose Rodriguez. Don't forget to go to the Casino for Life Patreon. Today is the day to be a member, and I am out the dope.